Good day, everybody. Welcome to today's video. Today's video, I'm going to be wiring up the Novak Tach Emulator for your LS swap. I am doing it on a 2003 Jeep TJ. So if you have a TJ that's an 04, 05 or JK, some of the steps are going to be similar, but some it's going to be different. So you really have to pay attention to the wiring diagram that comes with the Tach Emulator. There's many ways that you can wire this up. I'm using a Deutsch connector just to make things a little bit easier. Now, when I went and modified my wiring harness for the LS swap, since I'm keeping my factory gauges, obviously, is that I needed to find the crank and cam wires coming off. So my crank is a gray and black, and my camshaft looks like a tan and yellow. If you went to your wiring schematics right there, it tells you, and then you can verify that back at the main computer plug, which in my case, it'd be the black one. Now this is just gonna be a little pointer here if you're gonna use the Deutsch connectors. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. Is that on the back, it's got numbers. So when you build your opposite plug, you have to focus. There we go. You got to make sure that those numbers line up. So I'm going to be tying in another circuit here, so don't be confused. I need to put in the 12 volt resistor pull up, and that's between your ignition on and your tach. So this is my pull-up resistor right here. I'm going to show you guys what I did to make it, to protect it. This is what I did to protect the resistor, because I can see right now it's going to get easily broken. I soldered it onto two pieces of wire. I 3D printed that plastic tube to fit it inside. And then I gooped it all with liquid electrical tape and then put it inside the tube, put a strip of heat shrink on it, and then sunk her down. And that's what I did. And hopefully I shouldn't have any issues with it. So what I'm doing is that I'm soldering the pull-up resistor to my LS harness ignition on, and the pull-up resistor obviously is going to my tach. So from there, I have to supply it power, which I'm going to explain it in just a second. But I needed to tie in the Tach Emulator in my LS ignition on all to the same circuit. So now that wire I'm working with right now, I believe it's red and white, is ignition on from the Jeep. And that's where I'm putting my Y on there. One power wire is going to go down to the LS ignition on, and the other one is going to run up to the Novak Tach Emulator. So this is the only step that might confuse people, because this is something custom that I'm doing. I'm not a fan of using any type of butt wiring connector. I like to solder everything that I possibly can and then use like a waterproof connector like a Deutsch or something similar. So this wire coming up is 12 volt ignition on. I got it teed right here. So one power wire comes down to this Deutsch connector, comes down to this harness right here, which is gonna plug into my LS harness, and it goes to the power wire, goes to the 12 volt switch, which the pull-up resistor is hooked up to, back to the tach. White wire comes back up right up to here, and now we're going to start wiring everything to go for this plug. So the green wire is gray and black A8. A8 is your crankshaft position signal. The only part that's kind of a pain in the butt using a Deutsch connector is feeding them all through like the little rubber grommet, and you got to crimp them and then inserting them into the connector itself. But it's not too hard. It's worth it in the end, trust me. Plus this makes it modular as well. I want to point this out. As you can see on the left-hand side, see emulator wire. Those are the wires on the Tach Emulator, and the wires that says vehicle wire colors, obviously. You got to match those up. I should have actually said that earlier. The orange wire, tan yellow. Camshaft A18. You can't confirm that with your wiring schematic. So I got everything fed into my Deutsch connector, so now I can push them all through, because last one is the ground I use, so I just got a ground wire right here. I just got to find a home to attach it to. Yeah, this is the fun part with the Deutsch connector, assembling it. Push the little cap on the end, and you got your weather stripping back there. You got to slide that up and then poke it into place, hopefully without punching your pins out. And then, of course, wire loom it all up to clean it up, make it look a little bit more nicer instead of just having a spaghetti mess. Like I said, I like to make everything module. Last connection I made was a ground right there. Get the multimeter out, just double check it. Then, of course, I want to check my ground for continuity, so I'm going to put one pin on the bolt that I use to bolt the wire, and then on the ground strap that goes to the hood. And I got some good continuity there, so I know I won't have any issues. If you have everything hooked up right, you should have power at the box. So I'm just going to end the video here, just a quick video of wiring it up. I'll go through the settings and how to set it up afterwards once the engine is running, because that'll take a little bit more time than just to show. But I hope this video kind of helps some people out that may be confused on how to wire this up. Anyways, if you have any questions or comments, post them below. And I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video in my Jeep TJ LS Swap project.